Welcome to Critical Hit, Last Chance. I am your game master, Mark DeLucchi. Today, we're going to be exploring the world of Dungeons & Dragons and the world of baseball. We're going to be exploring it with these wonderful players at the table. I'm going to start on my left, and we're going to go around. Please introduce yourself to the people.
My character.
And you.
Hi, my name is Eric Sutton. My character's name is Davis Bishop, 25-year-old third base player, folklore hero, son of Olympic track athlete, also son of a former CLB player. CBL player. And very excited to be here, hailing from Pittsburgh, and can't wait to be part of the story.
Sweet. I'm Alan Mark, and I will be playing Cannon Strong, 44-year-old paladin, former player, played second base, retired at 35 after a long, successful career, 4 rings, that matters. I got 4 kids now. One of them is actually sort of a top prospect for baseball now, so it's coming up, so proud of them and looking forward to that, but also myself looking to get into coaching in the pros, hopefully, so see how this goes.
I'm Chantal, and I will be playing Lily Lewis, 28-year-old left-handed pitcher. I don't quite hail from track athletes or Olympians or anything, but I've been around baseball for my whole life. My grandma played, and so I never really knew her, but I always loved the idea of us sharing this connection. I sat around the minors for a while, finally made it up, and then had a pretty bad UCL tear that took me out for a few years. But I've been rehabbing, and I think that this might be my best chance. So really excited to get in there and see what I still got.
All right, so start us off. I'm going to have everyone, just so we can get a feel for the dice, I'm going to have each of you roll initiative. That's just going to determine how we order our intros. Let's have some fun.
That's a D20.
That's a D20, yes.
11.
9.
That's a fancy looking 7.
Add your initiative modifier.
12.
11.
Cool. So you got 14.
Mm-hmm.
11.
11 to 12. My papers were already ordered that way. We didn't mean to reorder anything. All right. We come to the present day in a world that is a lot like the world that we all live in outside of this game. The one major difference is instead of another league that may or may not exist outside this world and nothing to do with copyright reasons or the lacking of express written consent of a certain organization, the largest and most famous professional baseball league in this world is the Collective Baseball League, the CBL, and it functions a little differently than the league you might be familiar with. It's got a similar structure. There are 24 teams spread throughout the United States, but the biggest difference is they've all been publicly owned. They're run by municipalities players are not necessarily making the amounts of money that you'd associate with current professional baseball players. Honestly, probably more akin to what you'd see in the 70s or 80s when you're talking about player salaries. They are public union employees, and a lot of the sort of excess revenue that comes from the sport is put back into the community, supporting public enterprises, and also goes towards keeping prices down so more people can participate. So that's the world we're coming to. But we start in Southern California at a mall where there's a certain pitcher getting her left arm worked on by a masseuse in one of these mall massage parlors. Describe Lily for us. What does she look like? How's she hanging at this moment?
Yeah. So Lily is someone where you would walk by them and not necessarily immediately assume they're a professional baseball player. She's a little bit quiet, but definitely has a friendly aura to her. You'd kind of think you could go and talk to her and feel comfortable, having that conversation. She definitely holds herself a little bit close to the chest, but people seem to really enjoy speaking with her. She's mid-size, just someone who you wouldn't really notice outstanding while walking by them on the street.
Cool. I'm going to ask you for a Constitution saving throw for us. Right off.
Oh,
15.
Cool. So, as the masseuse is working on your left arm, it's been about, I'd say, 2-3 years since you had surgery, but there's still some lingering pain, and I think it's gotten to the point where a lot of it is ambient in a way that you are dealing with. It's not like it's in the way. I feel like this is a particularly common like athlete thing where you buy into play through pain, and so like there's a certain level at which it's just like, yeah, this is a part of the process, whether or not it is or not. But and that's sort of what you're feeling as this is wrapping up. And I think you probably come here pretty often, probably a few times a week. Since it's a private thing at a mall, it's off the book, so it doesn't go on your medical records as you're trying to have teams potentially sign you. And afterwards, you're immediately going to a bullpen session with your friend, May Toshiro. It's the off season right now. Describe your relationship with May. Like, how far does it go back? And
Yeah, so May and I grew up together pretty much playing travel ball. I'm from Southern California, so he and I used to, play on teams together. And then somewhere around high school, he really just found it. We both are pitchers, so we were both kind of coming up. And then he started on a meteoric rise and really hasn't stopped. And he's probably my biggest supporter, although sometimes it's a little bit hard to see him have so much success and be so humble about it and be so supportive of me when I just I don't know, sometimes things come easy to him, and I really do. I'm really happy for him, but it's always nice that he is still working out with me in the off season. He's the number one starter for the Baltimore Knights, and he's still taking the time to kind of kindle our friendship, which I really appreciate. And hopefully I can get to a point where I feel a little bit more even ground when we're running sessions together.
100%. And so you show up at a sort of open public park field. You and May are playing catch there. May's probably about 6'4", 6'5", broad shoulders, built, buzzed on the side, spikes up top, black hair. A lefty like you. You guys are playing catch, you're catching up. May doesn't necessarily have May, it feels like, has always been in love with the game. May doesn't necessarily even have family that's that close. He lives that single life and he's having a good time with it. And you guys are just playing catch there. And while you're playing catch, at some point after a bit, May goes, have you got any calls recently?
Teddy, my agent, hasn't said anything, but I'm hoping that, eventually this offseason, something's going to change for me.
Yeah, it's going to come. It's going to come. Every time I throw my changeup, I think about the split grip you showed me.
Yeah, I'm really glad that worked out well for you. I had a feeling, just kind of it would add enough spin that you'd be able to still keep your velocity but really have it drop. So I'm really glad that worked out.
Yeah, it's every time I throw it, I feel like I'm throwing it for both of us.
Yeah, me too.
We're gonna cut away later that day. At the end, it's wrapping up, and I think we're actually gonna travel further south. We're gonna travel over to Texas, where there's a Little League game going on. Mm-hmm. It's currently 13-year-olds are on the field, and in one of the standing outside one of the dugouts, there's a certain 44-year-old former the player, 4-time champ. Mm-hmm. Describe what Cannon looks like in this moment.
Yeah, Cannon's sort of still looks good for 44, but you can tell he's starting to let go a little bit. He's not keeping he's not as fit as he used to be, especially in the leagues, but he still keeps his frame's still pretty built, but a little bit of a guts maybe showing out a little bit from under the shirt, but otherwise he's a little bit, but I don't know, 5'10". I'm just throwing out stuff now. Yeah, starting to get a little bit of the graying in his facial hair a little bit. But yeah, he's like off, sort of arms crossed, just like staring out, watching one of his kids play Little League right now.
Yeah, so you're watching the game. And I think watching the game naturally brings you back to a place when you were playing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of like are the highlights of Cannon's career that he thinks about when he's like reflecting on like his time in the pros or his time as a kid?
Yeah, I think being here at a Little League game is bringing him back to when he was when he was in Little League as a kid. Especially being home in Texas, his dad's the one that taught him how to love baseball as well. So he's sort of imagining his dad being in his position, looking out into the field where Cannon's like fielding. So I think that he sort of dissociates a little bit, thinking like, oh, this is like I'm exactly where my dad was. What was that? 31 years ago or so. Quick math. But yeah, I think that in that moment, that's probably what he's thinking of. Maybe not so much the pros, very much in the moment for him.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to roll a D8.
D8s. 2.
Cool. So you're watching, it's the bottom of the 6th. Your son's Conrad is up. He strikes out. He swings through a pitch, and your team loses 13-2. There was a chance you could win, but I was rolling a d20 back here, so the odds were against Conrad. He's Conrad loves baseball, even if he may not be someone people call a chip off the old block on the field. And the kids sort of gather up or get their stuff, clear out of the dugout as another game comes in, and the kids sit and gather for the post-game talk from coach. What do you say to the kids?
Well, y'all played out there. I know not one of our best showings, but I mean, but y'all played hard, and I see some really good things out there. The fielding was a lot better, especially in the first few innings. Just got to keep up that energy, that momentum, so that we can start shutting them out later on. So yeah, but we didn't get it this time, but we have more games to come, and I believe that y'all are only getting better. Y'all are 13. Y'all are getting better each day. So yeah, who wants some? Indistinct.
At that moment, your wife Catherine comes in with orange. So she's like, "Come to the potluck! Come on, guys! Come on!" Your wife is very much the team mom. Has a little spread. There's some pizzas, there's some fruit, there's some snacks. Parents, oftentimes, many of the kids on the team much enjoy the 2 hours after the game, just running around playing hide and seek on the field, as they do playing in the game itself. So some of the parents stay, some of the parents try to get their kids to leave quicker. But yeah, and some of them are cracking a few beers open. What do you think Cannon gets up to during this time?
I would imagine Cannon is probably feeling a bit down in himself because if he got struck out, probably didn't have a great game. So I sort of imagine him sort of like slumping over to the side, like picking at an orange slice or something. And I think at that time I go up to him, sit down next to him, sort of first saying like, oh, it's sort of like, Hannah, hey, how you doing? Oh,
this is your youngest son, Conrad, for the record.
Oh, Conrad,
they all
sorry.
see names. It's all good.
I know. I did that to myself.
It's all good. But yeah, Conrad picking at an orange slice.
Yeah, I'm like, doing okay, kid?
Yeah, doing all right.
Yeah, well, still doing pretty good out there. I think I would try to give him some tips at that moment about watching certain pitches and stuff like that. It was like, I know there may be a lot of pressure on you to do well with this family, but as long as you're having fun and you're doing your best, then that's what matters to me. So
yeah, roll an insight check.
So total, that's a 4. But I also have a +3, so it's a nat 1.
That one.
Let me
Cool.
double check if that is. Yeah, that's a 1.
I think I think this is a moment where actually rolling low means you get more insight into your son, because as you sort of start like giving tips and like saying, hey, wait for your pitch, things like that. I think you realize it's that moment, particularly like 13 years old, like in that is like where you see a child just like glaze over as a parent speaks, and in the way that it's like just it's not even like choosing not to listen, almost just like I've heard this so much before, you know what I mean, like in feeling the repetition. And I think you see him looking off at some of the other kids who are playing tag. He goes, yeah, Dad, and just kind of runs off and joins them. And I think you're left in this moment with just the realization of like, I don't really know how to connect with it, like just just like having to sit with that.
Yeah.
And at that moment, your phone rings.
Oh, okay. I'll look at it. Do I see?
Unknown number with a Los Angeles area code.
I'll pick it up. Hello?
Hi, is this Cannon Strong?
Yes, this is he.
Hello, my name is Nick Steiner. I am a producer. I'm for a reality show. I've heard about you. It's called Last Chance. Baseball players are like baseball players who are really fucked, like edge of retirement. No one wants to sign them, anything like that. They're going to get a chance to compete for a contract with the Oakland Dragons. And I have to say, as someone who grew up, huge fan of yours and all you did for baseball and sport and all the cool things, I was like, we need Cannon Strong to be a coach on the show. So I was wondering, I just want to give you a call, like, how do you feel about that?
May I ask for it to do an insight check
Yes,
to see
absolutely.
if the excitement is because he actually wants me there, or if like I'm a last option.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't use these dice. Oh, that one's okay. I said insight, right?
Yep.
Wait, 3? Yeah. 12.
Cool. So I rolled behind the board and I got a nat 20 deception for my man. So I'll tell you, above board, this man has never heard of you before the name came across his desk, and you were definitely near the bottom of the list of candidates that he has made this call to today. But Cannon believes first call, this man watched you as a child.
Wow. Wow. Happy to hear that you're a fan. And Last Chance. Would I have known about Last Chance before?
You wouldn't have known about it, but I think it would have been in the context of like, you've definitely, I think, over the past few months been reaching out to friends, like trying to get coaching jobs. And so you feel like it might be a thing of, your name kind of connected and people passing it around. Like someone gets a call and is like, well, I'm not available, but you might want to call Cannon. Like that's, I think, what you're thinking.
Okay. Well, yeah. Wow. So, happy that I was considered for this. So, how about, I'm interested. So, I guess gears are turning, like this could be a way to get back into the league in some capacity.
Yeah.
So, it's like, I'm assuming like every time I've reached out to people like, hey, consider me for this, or like, could you throw my name out there? Like, I haven't gotten much back.
This is the first time you've gotten a call back with an offer, for sure.
So, excited to say, I'm interested. Yeah, what do I got to do?
Well, we're filming in 2 weeks. We're going to need you to get on a plane to the Bay Area, and we're going to be setting up there. So if you're ready, we're going to have auditions in a couple weeks with a bunch of the players, and so you as a coach are going to get to decide the players who make the cut. You're going to help us with that. So if you're ready to get on a plane in a couple weeks, come to the Bay Area and have a great time. We want to have you.
Auditions, Well, I'm in.
Sounds good. We hard cut to Pittsburgh. It's the evening of the next day, and we're in a part of Pittsburgh. We're specifically actually in a moment in Pittsburgh because it's probably about 3 a.m. and we are at the Pearl nightclub in Pittsburgh. Eric, I want you to tell us about what do we see in the corner with this getting this bottle service here at the Pearl?
Yeah, I mean, Bishop Davis Jr. is...
Davis Bishop Jr.
Davis Bishop Jr. is, buzz cut, full blonde hair. There's a few splotches in the blonde hair. Think some of the bad boys of the 80s style.
Mm-hmm.
He's got gold earrings hanging long, gold rings, gold jewelry, gold chain, but there is one pearl necklace that his mom gave him a long time ago. He's sitting back with a few bottles, but nobody's really with him. He's been there for a while, and he's growing a bit of peach fuzz, and he's got one hand on his phone, looking at old highlight clips of him that's gone viral. Because he's gone viral a long time ago as a kid. He's gone viral a few times, and so he's just sort of reminiscing at this point of man, I was that dude. I was born to do this. And there's baseball playing in the background on the TVs, and he's watching that I'm better than all those guys. I've always been. And y'all should know that Davis is 6'5", about 230. You can't miss him, and he often is walking bigger, but sort of two faces in front of the camera, very warm, but when he's with himself, super lone wolf, very cold. And in this moment, he's just sort of laughing to himself like a pity laugh. That was amazing.
In the club, watching highlight videos of yourself is a wild image. And I'm going to ask you for a Constitution saving throw to see how you're doing. DC is going to be 15. Is that what I think it is?
That is a nat one. That is a nat one.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Hard cut to the next morning in your bed. You have blacked out. Your phone, you are awoken because your phone is ringing.
Looks at the phone and just answers because he assumes it's someone who's cool.
Cool. You answer and immediately recognize the voice of your father. Davis, where are you?
Whoa, chill out. I'm good.
You now immediately remember you had practice with your father at 9 a.m.
And he's like, it's only 7, right?
It is 11:15.
Right. Immediately hangs up. Puts on all his clothes. And gets in the car that his dad has paid for.
What kind of car is it?
His dad pays for a Range Rover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get in that car, I assume tailing it?
Yeah, tailing it. Speeding through corners, going down, but he knows this field like the back of his hand, so
Cool.
he knows where to go.
Cool. You get there, and you see at the batting cage that your dad now owns. And your dad, as you said, your mom, Deidre, was a former Olympic track athlete. Mm-hmm. Your father, Davis Bishop Sr., played in the CBL for a bit. Not like a big-time player, like a 6-7 year career, kind of a bench role player, middle infielder. And he owns a batting cage. And during the off-season, he'll often, close it down to work out with you. And you see just waiting out front of the batting cage, your dad, his arms crossed.
Yeah, Davis is coming. He's got his bag. He forgot his cleats in the car. But he has a jersey draped over his shirt. No shirt's on, but the jersey's on his shoulder. And he has glasses on his face. He is in baseball pants. But that's pretty much it. Sandals on. And he's like, "What's up, Pops?"
This is the third time you've been late this week.
I mean, late is relative. But I really appreciate, coming over for dinner the past few days. It's been really good for me. And yeah, I was just out late yesterday. I was thinking about baseball, and I was mentally getting prepared for today. And so in that mental preparation, I just, I'm happy to see you. Complete silence.
He just stares at you, walks in. Goes to the pitching machine, starts getting the pitching machine set up, and we're gonna have our first a little homebrew here as we're combining it. On each of our character sheets, there is an additional skill that's hitting, pitching, and fielding for all of these characters, and they're gonna make some opposed rolls. In this case, a pitching machine. The DC is 15, so Davis
5.
plus.
Oh, plus
You're making
12,
a hitting.
which is 17.
17. Davis is stat. You are taking. You are just spraying all over the field. What's Dave? Tell me about Davis's swing. What's his kind of approach?
Davis has a split stance. He's not one of those guys that's really low in his stance because he's more about making sure that his clothes are together.
Yeah.
Everything's uniform. But in this moment, he's just letting his dad know I don't have to warm up. I don't have to practice. He just put his gloves on. And walk in that back.
So what shoes is he wearing? Because
he's wearing sandals, full slides, and he really just has the confidence. He's I was born to do this. Baseball is this easy for me.
Yeah.
I don't have to train. That's his approach to the game.
Yeah.
And so he steps in that cage, he sees the ball, he knows where it's going before it even leaves the machine, tracks it. His favorite location is like low and outside, smacks it opposite field immediately.
Cool. After that, I'm now going to ask you for a hitting check with disadvantage.
Cool.
So you're going to roll twice and take the lower.
That's a 7. That's a 9.
Okay.
So 7 plus 12.
19. Yeah. All right. So you see your dad trying to like pull a fast one on you. You see him kind of lean over and switch the machine to breaking balls. And you've always been a dead fastball hitter. You've always been going for that one. But tell me about how do you make that adjustment in this moment? You see him. Part of it is you see him make that switch,
right.
so you think you know what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I see him, and I sort of act like I don't. So I'm just like resting my hands at my side, pretty unprepared. As I see the pitching machine winding up, he takes the step. He's already loaded. He's waiting for the break. Like can't wait to hit it. He sees it's a 12-6 curve.
Yeah,
so it's coming in.
And it's coming in right low and outside.
Perfect. So Davis is waiting for that boy, and he sees it, and he like brightens up, smacks it, and laughs, and does a backflip in the cage. And he's like, you tried to pull a fast one. I saw you.
We're gonna get a water break, and your dad needs to stop. And you guys take a little break here. And while you're on a break, I feel like Davis is definitely like on his phone
immediately.
What is Davis doing on his phone?
Davis is thinking about sort of seeing if he has any likes from. He was on a reality show a while ago, like a romantic reality show. And he's trying to see if like the person that he was in romance with on that show is getting more likes on their page than him. And so and they are, and he's like, like this is bad. And he tries to post a picture of him in the cage. And he's like
still shirtless.
Still shirtless, shirts off, the chains are showing, but he does have a bat in the other hand. And he's like just roped one right field.
All right, I'm going to ask you for a charisma base check. Let's say, what do you think, persuasion? I think we're going to go persuasion here for your audience.
12 plus 2, 14.
14. Cool. You see like 50 likes within the first minute, but you have like 2.7 million followers. So that's not that impressive. But it's gonna do like fine numbers, but it's not necessarily blowing up. It's not. Who was the love interest on the show? What was their name?
Phaedra.
Phaedra?
Phaedra.
All right, I'm gonna need that spelled out, and I'm gonna need pronouns on top of that.
Phaedra.
Okay.
It's a great name.
They them pronouns.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bet. All right. Phaedra. What was the name of the reality show?
Love is Here.
Love is Here. And as you're looking at Phaedra's Instagram, that is getting far more likes than yours at the moment, you see popping up your agent, Bex Beckham, pops up and is calling you.
He immediately hits it. I was like, Bex, what's up?
Hey, Davis, how's it going?
I'm, just hitting line drives out here.
Hey, that's my man.
Yeah.
I got some good news.
What's up?
So, you already did reality TV once, and I think I might have a shot for you to do some reality TV again.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, not dating this time, but it's in your wheelhouse. Actually, it's a reality show for baseball players, and the winner is going to get a guaranteed contract with the Oakland Dragons.
Davis is insulted. Davis is like, Bex, are you serious?
Hey, man, it's you got. Look, you go on reality TV, you win that guaranteed contract.
Bex, who else is on the show? I mean, I'm one hit, one viral moment away from being back in the league. I don't know why we need this type of show.
Hey, Davis, listen. I love you. I've been with you since you were in high school, since you turned pro. You're the greatest. You're still going to be the greatest.
Right.
All right? You're going to be the greatest.
I am.
It's been 9 months since a team's called even asking about you.
Davis is shocked. I didn't know that.
Pack your bags. I'll have the flight info sent your way. You're flying out in 2 weeks. He hangs up the phone.
Davis looks at his dad and is like...
And you see for the first time your dad, does kind of show a level of warmth, coming over and, seeing, recognizing what's going on, kind of puts his hand on your shoulder. I'm sorry, man.
No, I'm just gonna show him who I am.
Show him who you are.
Davis put the spell back on.
We go back at it. And on that moment, we cut away to back Southern California. Lily, I think you're driving home after throwing with May for a bit, doing some pitching. And you see on your, what's that called? That screen in the car that's synced to the phone. You'll know what I'm talking about. You see Sandy Parker, your agent, is calling you as well.
I'll pick up. I have like a big ice pack wrapped
100%.
around my left arm as
Definitely
it's kind
driving
of
with just the right hand.
Yeah, and I'm also a lefty, so it's like my left hand is just like cusping like the bottom of the wheel, but it's not really doing anything. Yeah, I'll pick up.
Cool. Hey Ace, a superstar. How you doing?
Tell me some good news. Did they finally call back? Am I getting heat?
Well,
They've seen my tapes, right? I've got my velocity almost all the way back.
I sent your tapes around, and I did get a call back. What I need to know is, how's your arm feeling?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, like, the rehab really took, and I feel like I'm feeling better than I have felt in a very long time.
Well, let me tell you, I got a call. Producer in Hollywood. Turns out there's a reality show. Winner is getting a guaranteed contract with the Oakland Dragons.
And they want me?
Oh yeah, they want you. There's just gonna be, it's just they want you. It's just a tryout. Okay, just a tryout, and you've never been cut before in a tryout. So, 2 weeks. They said it's gonna be up in the Bay, and if your arm's ready, you're as good as any of them.
My arm is ready. I think Lily, like, in her head, she takes a pause because she's both, like, I think she knows that this is her only chance, and I think she's not hesitant to it. I think the idea of being so, like, failing so visibly would be, like, it's just kind of what she's expecting. But I think so. I think that's where kind of her pause is coming from. But she kind of pulls herself together and is like, any chance to get back at it. I think that this is going to be it. Milo is going to be really excited to hear that I have a lead and I'm not just going to be around the house causing chaos in his space. So, you know what? Yes, I'll do it. It's in the Bay.
It's in the Bay. You want to drive up, or you want me to get flights for you?
I can drive. Is there going to be like family housing, or is this kind of
No, it's going to be, how those reality shows are. They want you in a hotel, and they're going to take your phone and all that stuff. So, let folks know. But, I think it's going to be all good. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be you and a bunch of other baseball players in one building where you can't have communication with the outside world. That sounds like a wonderful experience.
Lily takes like a really deep breath. All right, I'll have to figure out how to pitch this to Milo, but because she's kind of realizing that it's not like she's gonna have to, instead of saying, "Hey, I got to try out, we're gonna be able to move together," it's going to be, "Hey, I'm going to leave you for something that I don't know is a sure thing." So she's kind of already starting to plan her pitch. She says, "Okay, call me with the details, and I will be there when you need me."
Sounds good, Ace. Talk to you later. Hangs up, and you're left there. And yeah, I mean, I think, right, you were gone for quite a long time, right, during your injury rehab. Your agent, Sandy, she has sort of a complex with a bunch of trainers and coaches up in Arizona. You spent a lot of time there over the years, and particularly after the injury. And so, yeah, I think there is that kind of, after having what is an exciting phone call, but also sort of having this, now you have the silence in the car as you pull in your apartment complex, get out, walk inside. What's Milo look like?
Milo is about 6 feet tall. He has got kind of like round glasses, wire rim glasses. He's a writer, but has kind of taken on a sales job to pay the bills since my career has taken a pause. So he's definitely got more of a kind of a quiet look, but is wearing a suit because every day he has to go into work and make calls in a suit. And he's probably cooking dinner as
he
as I'm
is.
getting
No,
home.
you walk in, he is on the couch, and you see he's got a laptop open. It's honestly a wild sensory experience. The laptop is open, he is typing. The TV is on with just news on, and then you smell what appears to be something that's cooked. And you just walk in, and Milo doesn't look up. He says, "Hey, babe, made a stir fry for dinner. It's on the stove." And he just is sort of focused.
Thank you. And she like goes and grabs a bowl and
stir-fried veggies. Got some beef in there. Got some broccoli. Got some carrots. Some rice next to it.
she's like kind of shoves it in the in this like arm cast encased in. And actually, she's like realizing it gets cold as it like hits the ice pack, so she switches it back. But comes and sits down next to him on the couch and says, she kind of looks over at him to try to figure out what the right moment is. Actually, can I roll insight to figure out when I should bring it up? That is a 10.
Ooh, if there was a moment where this was gonna be easy, there's a moment that's not gonna come.
It's not now.
There's gonna at some point you're gonna have it. It's just.
She takes another deep breath. It's kind of her way of calming herself, but it's always kind of vocal, but she doesn't really realize it. She's like, Milo, I got a call from Sandy today.
Oh?
There's an opportunity for me to try out for a guaranteed contract with the Oakland Dragons.
Oh, that's fun. That's awesome. Gonna go up to Oakland and then, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of a catch. It's, the tryout is going to be televised.
Hey, then more teams get to see you.
It's going to be televised as a reality show. I would need to be away from here and away from my phone for a long period of time. And I know that I just came back from being away for rehab, so I think this might be my last opportunity. And she kind of just starts like word vomiting because he's not like interrupting her with anything.
He does it. Roll a persuasion check.
16.
Cool. Two nat ones from the judge. And you see Milo like closes his computer, puts it down. He's like, "Hey, how do you feel about that? Like, reality TV's probably gonna like talk to you a bunch and like ask you to like do a bunch of interviews and stuff. How do you feel about that?"
You know, it's not exactly the kind of thing that I ever saw myself doing. That's more of a May thing, or my sister would love this, but this is I am a little bit unhappy about that being the circumstance, but I think that I owe it to myself and I owe it to us to like give this a good last try, and really try to push here.
Yeah, well, I understand. You gotta chase it. You gotta chase your dream. I'm behind you.
She like starts to kind of get a little emotional, and says, "Thank you for the support. I'm gonna do it this time. This is gonna be for real."
So, we fast forward 2 weeks later. We're in a lobby here, somewhere sort of outskirts of Oakland. There's kind of bigger space that seems to have been rented out. And it's kind of like a complex. There's a baseball field outside where you see like there are coaches and other folks and like pitching machines and things. But for right now, both Lily and Davis, you're sitting in this kind of lobby where a team's inside. What's happening is they're screening folks through like a verbal interview conversation. And then after that, folks are going outside and playing some baseball. Yeah, potentially. No one's playing yet, but it seems like they're setting up. There's that possibility. I'm going to ask you both for perception checks.
14.
Whoa! Okay. So I'd say the first thing you guys recognize, I think you see a lot of familiar faces. Baseball is particularly like for players who've had long careers. Like there's, it's like, oh, I played against that guy, or played with that guy. I played with her, played with them. Like all the folks there. I think Davis, you notice someone you go back quite a ways with. A pitcher who came up in Pittsburgh, was one of a top prospect, kind of a rival of yours for a long time. His name is Daryl Streep.
Oh, God.
Daryl Streep.
Great name.
Why would you laugh at that name? What would possibly be humorous? But yeah, Daryl is there. He hasn't noticed you yet. Lily, you notice I'm a former college teammate of yours, actually. Rico Garza. He was a shortstop. You played with. You know he like. You know you were never like a big prospect name. He was even lower. Like he like hasn't even gotten probably past like what the equivalent of like AA is or something like that. But you see him. You were never super close with him. I think you were like 3 years younger than him, so you played with him your freshman year. But then he graduated and turned pro. So I think you do. Those are sort of the two folks you both clock. You also hear they got like the news on the TV, kind of ambient audio. And you guys over here, big news out of the Collective Baseball League. Pittsburgh Mayor Bruce Kemp has signed a massive public-private partnership with several large Pennsylvania-based businesses. The move, Mayor Kemp says, will empower companies in the region to help support and grow the team. The Pittsburgh Knights. The Pittsburgh Artificers. Some critics have called the move antithetical to the aims of the CBL, but the partnership has allowed the Artificers to make a massive splash in free agency. They've signed top amateur prospect Cass Strong, the daughter of CBL Hall of Famer Cannon Strong. The young center fielder has scouts calling her the best 20-year-old player in more than a generation. She's agreed to a multi-million-dollar contract. In other news, our own Cheryl Tanner sat down with novelist turned XYZ CEO Ben Zirk to talk about the best-selling author's memoirs, Lessons from the Top, on his journey from fiction to the top of a Fortune 500 company. We sort of fade out on that. Why are you shaking your head, Eric?
Davis is pissed.
Davis is already pissed, and you see that Daryl has recognized you and has actually got up, and he just sits next to you. He reaches out. Hey, Davis.
Say, what's up, Pipsqueak?
He sits down and goes, look, I got something I think two of us can maybe, work together on this. I don't fuck with you either.
Yeah,
all right?
Fun.
But I got something. Okay, so I heard Panther Clothing, Sip Sport, XYZ, all sponsoring. They're sponsoring the show.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm thinking, we've been going up against each other a while. Maybe we lean in, play that up. You're not going to win anyway. So if maybe you get some attention.
Won a lot back in the day.
You won a lot, but last time we faced, I struck you out 3 times. So look, I'm going to help you out. I'm saying we can make some drama, and then maybe you get a sponsorship or something after you leave, and do whatever you do, dancing around or something.
Davis in his head is guy's got a good point. Especially because Davis has been around the reality show game a bit. He looks around the room. He's like, deal.
Bet. And he goes, all right, bet. He walks off. Goes to sit next to you. I think we're actually going to cut to inside the interview room where, Cannon, you're sitting in what is, I have to say, the most awkward concoction of people, because you're sitting with Ty Kaneshiro, who's a pitching coach, older, in their 60s, sitting with Anj Ricci, another well-known manager who's here. You three are there, and then also the producer of the show, and then Hollywood folks. Mm-hmm. So it's you three, and they're filming you as you watch, as the interviews are happening. I think for right now, they haven't necessarily started inviting people in. They're they want B-roll for sort of interviews. They're hey, we're gonna record some interviews with you, talk about yourselves for the intro and stuff. And so you see Ty goes, Anj goes, and then you're last. And then the producer looks at you, goes, all right, what was the hardest moment for you in your career? Wisdom saving throw.
All right.
DC 15.
Okay. Oh, wisdom's actually it's not bad. But the roll's not. Wisdom save?
Yeah.
Damn, that's only an 11.
Cool.
I'll switch out these dice soon.
As you're asked for the hardest moment of your career, and it's very clearly meant to be you can, even you who's not attuned to reality show game knows narrative enough to be yes, this is for talking about the players who've overcome stuff, and yes, I was a great player, but I've overcome stuff as a player too, or struggles or slumps. But you flash back to a different moment very quickly. And you are beside your mom who is weeping, and you're at the funeral of your father some 25 years ago. And you just are sort of brought to that place very quickly. And he's like, I know you hit like 220 your first couple months. How'd you get over that?
Yeah, I guess hearing that, it's like sort of snaps back into place, and it's like, sometimes just not hit as well as you expect, but it's tough. It's tough.
It's tough. Okay. It's a great job. We'll just not use him as much. You see, all right. Let's bring some folks in. We'll have Davis come in first. Your first name. I guess we'll say right alphabetical order. It's like Davis Bishop Jr.
Davis walks in like as big and broad as he has ever looked.
You sit down. You see the producer, Nick, is taking lead. Goes, Davis, you've been playing in front of millions of eyes since you were a child.
Yeah.
Tell us about your highlights as a player.
I've had many.
And we're going to flash back. You are 10 years old and sitting here in Little League. We're going to make an opposed roll. You are going to maintain the hitting bonus that you have as an adult, as a child. Wow. And you're going to roll against this child who has child stats.
8 plus 20.
Cool. They rolled a 6. This is you're 10 years old. It's gonna be your first the first viral moment you have. Your dad's filming Little League, has no idea the monster he's creating. It's a small little righty, throws the kid would call it a fastball, but this kid can't throw strikes. So he's like the kid. None of the other pitchers on the team can throw strikes. This guy can throw strikes, but he can't do anything else. So he just lobs a meatball right into Davis's his sweet spot. What does Davis do?
Well, before that, Davis is scoring to bunt because he's just playing games. So he scores to bunt, and draws in the first and third base players to come in, and immediately sees it, brings his hands back because his dad's he's picked up a lot from his dad in terms of watching the game. He sits back on it, smashes it dead center, far over the fence. They don't hear it drop. He looks at the pitcher, throws the bat infield, and just walks around the bases until he gets to about second base. He starts jogging through, and that's it. And he just goes. He doesn't high five his teammates. He just goes to the locker room. He goes down to the dugout. He's clapping for himself. He's like, "Yeah, Davis, this is you. This is what you go for, Davis."
And we flash forward to 4 years ago in late September. You are playing actually for the Pittsburgh Artificers. You had your first call up. You were a pretty big prospect. You're a local kid from the Pittsburgh area. There's a lot of heat around you. Pittsburgh's out of the postseason contention, though. And we're now going to roll. It's at the plate, bottom of the ninth. Artificers are trailing 3-2, 1 out, runners on second and third, and your send up to pinch hit. And you are actually going to roll with advantage because this pitcher, one of the best closers in the game, Kelvin Perez, is a dead fastball pitcher, and you're a dead fastball hitter, so you roll advantage on those.
So I roll again?
Yeah, you roll again, and you can take the higher of the two.
Oh, I rolled the same thing twice. 22.
22? Cool. You see, again, Perez's fastball, it'll hit 102 sometimes. It's sitting smooth. Even late in the season, it's still 99, 100. But he's trying to pin it low and outside. What does Davis do?
Davis looks at the catcher in his eyes and chuckles. And then looks back at the ball and just yanks it again, dead center. This is all power. He doesn't pull it at all. It's just dead through the middle of the field. This time, instead of throwing his bat in the field, he just does a nice, casual bat flip and kisses to his hands and runs around. He's waving as if he's Queen Elizabeth all the way through. And then, as well across the plate.
It's a walk-off home run. All the teammates are there. You see the crowd start saying, Davis, Davis, Davis. And then all your teammates are there around you to celebrate, and then they're waiting for you at the plate.
I think he looks at a few of his teammates and he realizes the moment, and he kisses to the audience again, and he gives a few high fives, but he pretty much just like jogs to the dugout. Like he's not really there for the glamour of his team. He's like, I just got us the win. Like I am built for this. I was made for this game. And he loves like the glamour of like the lights flashing. And he sees one camera person in particular, and he flashes a smile at the camera person, and he's like, I want that after the game. And he goes into the dugout.
We flash forward almost a year later. Your first full season, you started seeing a lot more breaking balls. You started seeing the sort of getting in your first slump. You got off to a really hot start to the season in April, and then by May, it's starting to weigh. Like you're hitting 180. You have a slugging that was north of 400 because you hit those early homers, and now it's hitting like 370, and it's dipping. How does Davis deal with that?
One, Davis is still posting his old highlights to his social media. So he's like still living in that delusion that is like very much front facing for him. And when he talks to cameras, he's always like, yeah, like I'm doing great. I love the team. I love being here. Like I am the hometown hero. But he says a little more like charisma, you know? And to the camera.
I don't think he does.
Okay, he doesn't then. But to his teammates, he's like very cold. But to his coaches, he's like, I need more opportunities. Like I need to be, you know, y'all need to be coaching, like working with me harder in practice. Like y'all need to be, like when we're sitting there talking about film, we should be in the cages. Like why are we not?
You'll get more opportunities when you take a slider that's a foot off the plate.
And he's like, you got to work with me.
All right, let's go. And flash to the end of the season, your average is dipped to 120. Your OPS is like 445.
Jeez.
And I think also, even by that point, the media performance starts to break a little bit. There's probably like a moment you snap at a media member, it goes a bit viral. And you've definitely jaded a lot of teammates and coaches. And you're sitting in the manager's office, and he's looking at you and goes, there are 25 players on the roster. When you're on the team, there's 24 because you're playing by yourself. You could be a great player, but you're not going to be a great player with us. And you were let go. You've caught on with a couple of teams in the minor leagues, never made it back to the CBL. And it's back in this present moment. So why aren't you in the CBL right now?
A lot of haters.
Beautiful, but we cut away on that. Lily gets called in.
It's amazing.
I love Davis so much. Similar situation. You get asked about, I think, your greatest moments. I think we flash, actually, a similar time. I think a season after Davis's debut. Because you made it. You went to college, so you're on the older side. Not actually old, but older than Davis was. You're actually remember. I think sort of the first flash to is working with the coaches in Arizona, and it's like Lily got great command, but I don't think you need to worry about it as much. Your right arm, you're letting it get loose because I think you're really focused on hitting that corner. I want you next pitch, only focus on that right arm and just bring it down as hard as you can. And you do that. And you see the radar gun that's up in this cage says 93. It's the first time you top 90. By the end of spring training, you're hitting 95 pretty consistently. And you still have your curveball. You still have your feel for the changeup. By midseason, you get your first call up. You're with the Phoenix Scorpions. And September, Phoenix was always an offense first team. They never had great pitching. It's your first year. You're 2 months into the bigs. But you're sub-3 ERA. You're the ace. They're a game ahead of the Chicago Bards for that final wild card spot. September 18th, Phoenix is up 2-1. It's the top of the 8th inning. Y'all are at home in Phoenix. Your coach Gus comes over. I think it's about a few weeks ago. You kind of started feeling something. It's like just a little heavy at first, and just, you always feel sore after you pitch. And so, but it's feeling a little more. You're kind of dragging it a bit more a few days. It used to be kind of 2 days after you were starting to feel normal. Now it's taken 3-4. At this point it's 2-1 lead. You've thrown 7 innings, 1-run ball, and Gus goes up to you and goes, hey kid, you want to close this one out? Think you can finish it?
Absolutely.
Cool. So you go out there for the bottom of the 8th and ask you to roll pitching. It's going to be straight. and you're going to get to add 8 more than your current pitching stat.
Okay. 26.
Cool. You strike out the first batter of the inning. So we're going to introduce the injury mechanic for you. Lily's body is currently already working on a D4. So I'm going to need you to roll a D4 for me. You don't want a 1.
It's a 4.
4. Cool.
Nice.
Strike out the first batter of the 8th. Roll again.
D20.
D20. Roll the pitching. You get 8
My
more than
math
you normally
is-
do. Yeah.
33.
33.
Yeah.
Roll me that D4.
3.
Strike out another one.
Nice.
Roll it again.
Okay, there you go. That's a more normal one. 6, so that's 12, 20.
Cool. Roll me D4.
4.
Nice.
There you go.
You get ahead 0-2 in the count, hang a curveball, pops the other way, double down the line, 2 outs. Roll again.
He's keeping me in. He's letting
He's
me cook.
You told him. Hey, he thinks you can get a complete game on this one.
19?
Cool. Roll the D4.
4. Unbelievable.
Cool.
Never getting injured.
Injured. Cool. Full count. You walk first and second. Roll again.
24.
Cool. Roll the D4.
3.
Yeah, cool. Strike out. Get off the mound in the bottom of the 8th. First comes over. You have 3 more outs in you.
I'm gonna say yes, but I know I don't. it's feeling tight.
Cool. You go back out there. Do it again.
26.
Cool. D4.
2.
Strike out. 2 outs away. Roll it again.
21.
Cool. D4.
4.
Roll it again. Strike out. 2 outs.
3.
Cool.
That's
D4.
4.
Cool. Just a single. Just one runner on. Still leading 2-1.
21. 29.
D4.
There's a 1.
Cool. 2 outs. 2-2 count. Run on first. Pitch leaves your hand. You feel a pop. Curveball hangs over the plate. Smash. Left field wall. Over it. Manager comes out, pulls you. Says, "You're a good kid. Don't worry about it. You're losing 3-2. Come off the mound. Team loses the game. You don't pitch for another 1.5 years. You undergo surgery." So how's your arm hold up?
It's been a really long road to recovery, but I've been training really hard, and all I want to do is really prove to myself that I'm the pitcher that I showed some inklings of back when I was up with the Scorpions. So I'm feeling good. I've been working really hard on my rehab, and this is my shot.
Yeah. Yeah, your grandmother, Julianne Lee, was it? She played in the CBL a long time ago. What's it mean to be building on that family legacy?
Oh, I mean, she's my hero. We only, she passed away when I was 7, so we didn't get to spend too much time together. But to be able to follow in her footsteps has been a dream, and it's such an honor to share, the same league as she did.
Now, I heard that you are really close with Mei Toshiro. Is that correct?
Yeah, May and I have known each other for forever. He's, what a phenomenal athlete, person, even better person. He's a dear friend of mine.
Awesome. And, to think, one day you get back there, you too could be two of the best pitchers in the league at once. It's crazy. You don't get too many little league teams that have that.
She's like, she knows that he's a producer inflating her ego, but like, it doesn't matter. It's she's like, to be able to play with May would be a dream one day, and I would love to get back there and have that opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. And we're going to cut to the field where some tryouts practices sort of happen. What is Cannon running? What do you think the drill that Cannon's doing, or what's he working with? What's he watching?
Yeah, I guess probably be more infield fielding, especially since he was second base. I think that's what he's sort of key on.
Yeah.
The fielding for the most part.
Cool. Sounds good. So Davis, we're gonna have you. What do you want to do first? Hitting or field?
Let's field.
All right, we're gonna do some fielding practice at third base first. Roll that fielding check.
From my D20.
Yeah.
8 + 6, 14.
Cool. How does Davis make all the plays? But I should say, Davis should make all the plays.
Yeah.
Davis knows he can make all the plays.
Yeah,
So what happens that means he doesn't quite make all the plays?
Yeah, Davis is not that focused. I mean, he loves baseball. He loves being on the field, and that's one of the things that gives him drive to wake up to even be here on this day. But when the ball's hit, he sees a low roller. He steps it and tries to put it in between his legs, just because he knows he can. If it's one that's going to be a hopper, he doesn't run up on it. He lets it bounce all the way to him because he knows he's got the arm to make it all the way there. So he just waits, lets the guys run. It's things like that where it's he could make the easy play. He wants to add some flair to it, and he adds the flair because he knows he can.
Yeah. And you see that they're actually having this be kind of a live simulated game. So actually,
Yeah.
Daryl is pitching, you're fielding behind Daryl. And the first time you make a play, the second time you boot it, he goes, Daryl goes, cut it out, man.
And it's hey, you come over here and do it.
I will. And he throws the glove down. This is going to be a post-athletics check. Daryl's going to come over and try to fight you.
Good. 4.
I swear to God.
Where's my athletics though? Let's see. 4 + 7. 11.
What do you think Daryl rolled?
Nat 20.
You rolled in that 20. He comes over and just tackles you to the ground. You see all the players run over. Dudes, chill, man. The people are ripping you out. Roll me a perception. All three of you actually can roll perception because all three of you.
19.
15.
Oh, dirty 20.
-4.
Minus 4, 15. You still clock it. Davis has truly the worst stat. And we rolled this. We did not give... Davis's wisdom is 3. For those unfamiliar with D&D, when you roll your base stats, you roll 4 6-sided die. You drop the lowest, add the 3 together. That's the total. And I was saying to Eric, because you dropped the lowest, literally as I said the words, as you dropped the lowest, chances are, you aren't going to get a lot of ones. He rolled 4 ones. So his wisdom is a 3. So 15, 20, and I think it was sub 15, right?
It was 15.
Oh, it was 15. Okay, all 3 of you see it. All 3 of you see, how's Davis get up from the fight after it separates?
Davis is kind of laughing because he's he's still the guy,
Yeah.
but he is a bit upset that that's how it happened because he was supposed to be on the same page, he was on the same side.
Yeah.
So he kind of pushes Daryl to get the last push in.
On the 15, as you push him, Daryl gives you a wink, and you realize this was, to him at least, this is part of it. And as you turn, all 3 of you look, and you see Nick, the producer, is you get that.
Davis yells, "This is your last chance." A big wink back.
Oh, that's fantastic. Cool. And I think then Daryl's gonna come off the mound. You're gonna hit, and you're gonna face off against Lily. So this is gonna be your hitting opposed to Lily's pitching.
Can I make an insight check or a history check on what I know about him?
100% you can actually. And actually, you're gonna roll this with advantage because Davis is such a big name.
Okay. Do you have a preference between the two?
I'm gonna say you can pick whichever one's higher. That's fine. Insight or history.
17. So that's a 21.
Cool. Yeah, you 100% know the issue with Davis is he can't hit fastballs,
Okay.
and you also are a pitcher who, again, you got that velo up since the injury. It's still sitting 86, 87. So just don't throw a fastball. So that's going to give you advantage on your roll, and that's going to give you a -5 to your hitting check.
Jesus.
Ooh.
So,
Got it.
again, you still get to add your plus 12, so it's
Yeah.
a plus 7 now is for your hitting. So you roll with advantage, you add your pitching, you roll straight, you're hitting, and you're going to add 7 to whatever's on the die.
Cool.
Okay.
Lily, like a lot of pitchers, but especially after her injury, goes through a whole like little routine as she gets to the mound. She kind of like she shakes out her arm, she brings her hands together, she kind of looks up, and then like she like makes eye contact with the batter for a good amount of time, but it's not in a intimidation way. She's like basically reading what she's gonna do because she pitches from a very analytical standpoint. There's almost no intimidation factor. It's actually it's an underwhelming it's a surprise attack almost when she pitches. So
Davis
right.
just looks dead center. And he's like, amateur.
okay. That's 9 is 15 and then
12.
I reroll 16.
So
12.
16, 12. Cool. What happened?
I would probably. Are you a lefty or a righty?
Righty.
I backdoor sinker. I think it was-
You see, you're like, fastball, baby. Swing and see it dip, and just the softest grounder to first base. Fielded. Step out. That's one!
Davis like a little rusty.
You again, we still have the injury mechanic. However, you aren't on a D4 at this moment. You're at a D8. So roll the D8. So for those who know, the way the mechanic essentially works is you only suffer an injury if you roll a 1 on a D4. So Lily's current state, she's rolling a D8. If she rolls a 1 on that, then going forward, she would roll a D6. If she rolled a 1 on that, then she would roll a D4. So you're at a D8 right now.
Nice.
Cool. Our arm's feeling pristine. Cool. And I think that is. Oh, yeah. You hit. You pitch. You do that. Yeah. I think at one point while this is happening, Nick kind of comes up to you. He goes, "Hey, how you doing? How you feeling?"
Feeling good. It's nice being out here in the field again. Watching these young kids play. Just all these cameras around. It's different for sure, but I'm happy to be back on the field. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Listen, I can tell you're happy. We need the cameras to see that you're happy. I feel like there's listen, again, great. Think about when you're playing. Like when you play.
Mm-hmm.
But just do that, but talk.
Do that, but talk.
Yeah.
And then this is a dude that was very much just he was really good as a player, but then didn't he was very not in the spotlight in a way. He's very quiet, star in a sense on his team. So he's very vocal talk. Got it.
Okay, I feel like I make things worse. Okay. You know what? We have one of our we have a consultant here. Hi, come over. And you see, and basically a team of Hollywood theater coaches, improv coaches are coming over, trying to get you trying to help you out. You can roll whatever check you feel would be for trying to essentially gain a charisma skill, gain to intake some level of knowledge in this.
Got it. Yeah.
So,
I'll try, even though I don't think I'm as into being as showy
100%.
about it, but at least try.
Yeah.
So
We'll just do straight charisma.
yeah, I think
here.
straight charisma would be
Yeah.
fine. That's a 10.
Okay. I think you hear a lot of words that you understand what they mean, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
and and it's and then you're it's a coach is coming over and is like, okay, look, see, just forget. You're not Cannon Strong right now. We're just gonna go back and forth here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're not Cannon Strong. We're just gonna pretend to be something else. Okay, I am a tree.
Okay.
No. You say something that's
yes.
connected to that. So I am a tree.
You're a tree. I am also a tree.
You see someone else comes up and says, okay, I want you to project with me, okay? So, because I feel like, okay, so I want you, say something as loud as you can say it.
Ah.
Okay. Hey, that's a start. So
Was that loud enough?
Oh, you know what? When you talk on the camera, I want that volume. Okay, where that came from. Okay. So I want you to say, "I am Cannon Strong" at that volume.
I am Cannon Strong.
Yes. Okay. Let's do it again. All right, let's roll it again. And we see a bunch of cameras come on, and Nick is looking at you. So why do you want to get back in the game as a coach?
Oh, I am Cannon Strong. In my head, I am Cannon Strong. Yeah, I mean, I have, obviously I have baseballs in my family now. You see Cass, she's doing real well. Just signing with Pittsburgh.
I will say.
Do I not know that?
You do not know she has signed.
Do not know that yet. Okay, great. Is it? Yeah, I have this love for baseball. Got it from my dad. Passed it down to my family as well. So I think that, especially now, I'm at this age where baseball's been my life. I want to give back and be able to teach these young kids how truly it is to play this game well, the right way. And I think I have a lot to offer. I had played really well when I was their ages, and I think that I could be a good source for them to see the same success I did. So.
Cannon doesn't hear this, but someone whispers, "You know what? He's doing a good everyman." I think the audience really connected. And the reason Cannon doesn't know that is because the next question the producer asks is, "How does it feel? Your daughter just signed the biggest contract in CBL history with the Pittsburgh Artificers. How's that feel?" And you have not heard anything about
it. She did? She what now? Cass?
Am I telling you? I assumed it was reported this morning. Yeah, she got 5 years, $7.5 million.
Oh, wow. No, I mean, I just got here. I haven't heard. That's great.
Okay, he didn't know, guys. He didn't know. And they go, "Thanks so much, Cannon. Thanks so much." And they walk away, and you're left with that.
Okay.
I will say, Cannon does still have his phone at this moment.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's probably not great at looking at it or texting back. It's just it's just there.
Yeah. Does Cannon? We're at the wrap of tryouts here. You all go back into the lobby at first, where the list of people who are going to make the cut are going to be there, and two of you both make it. You see Daryl makes it. You see Rico does not, and you see just kind of looks at it. Just kind of walks out quietly. And I think at one point gives you a nod, but doesn't want to exchange words. And y'all are, because you make it, escorted straight to a hotel. Your phones are confiscated from you. All ways to contact the outside world. And they give you a binder and you go through, and it's the schedule. It's you gotta wake, there's breakfast at this space where everyone eats together, and the schedule for filming and all these things. The entire competition, there are 8 players, 6 other than you, and I guess 5 if y'all know Daryl. And it is going to be filmed in the span of 7 days. So there's going to be an elimination a day, essentially. However, no one is going to get to leave until the competition ends. So if you're eliminated early, you just have to sit in the hotel for that amount of time. Cannon, similarly, they take your stuff. You're in the hotel in a different setup, but you have just a little different schedule because of, obviously, your role.
Right.
I guess I should say, they give you a 30-minute warning before your phones go away. Do any of the 3 of you do anything with in that time with them? And if not, no worries.
Yeah, I think I would look for messages from
cool.
family
Yeah, you
and
have
stuff.
75 unread texts that have come in just since this morning. A lot of them are former players reaching out, congratulating you about Cass. One a few of actually only one of them is from you have a missed call from Catherine, your wife. She knows you don't respond to text, so you see she called you at some point. There's a missed call in there. Cass actually hasn't reached out to you. But yeah, it's just a lot of like, congrats, man, so happy for you. Like, it must be super cool to see her like do this and like all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Let's go through it. I guess I'll like just mark all as read. Like, great.
I think you see too, as you're like, because you're getting sent the links to the articles in some cases that people are texting you, and the headline for the articles is, again, you aren't watching the news, you weren't checking, you didn't hear the thing I read earlier, and all of the articles are about Cass alongside this public-private partnership. Like, it's because it's in tandem. Like, again, for like context, highest paid players in the league are probably making like $500,000 to $700,000. Most like base pay is around like $150,000 to $200,000. So she's getting twice as much as any player in the league has ever made per season over 5 years, and she's never played professionally. So as a 20-year-old. And so what goes through Cannon's mind like when he sees all this?
Yeah, like I'd say it's a lot of mix of emotions. Like, of course, I'm very proud of Cass. She's the one that out of my kids like has stepped up in the biggest way to follow, I guess, my footsteps in professional baseball, at least the ones that are old enough to get rid of there. But also like seeing like the size of the contract and how it came about with that partnership. Like I have like doubts or questions about like how it came to be and stuff, especially seeing how this is the first time someone's making that much money. It's like, well, it's sort of questioning what does this look like? What is going to be the future of the league now? Are these contracts going to end up being this big? Are there going to be more of those partnerships? What does that mean for like other players, especially like I think being in this space where it's like people trying to get into the league, like what's it going to look for them in the long term as well?
I think there's also probably a quick thought of like, knowing how these work in hierarchy, like seniority matters a lot, veterans and respecting young players, and thinking about for your daughter stepping in as the highest paid player, and like, I think there's a level of worry for that because I think because there are. Would Cannon like look up to read more, or would Cannon just like see the headlines that were there and like let that be?
It's a good question. I think it would start to read a little bit more just to see like, especially since he didn't get this update from like Cass herself or anything. Just like see if there's any more information on how that led to. What led to this, like her getting this?
Yeah, I mean, you see it comes down to is like a lot of players had already signed contracts. Again, like for context, this is filming in like November, right? And the season wraps like October 15th is like the end of the championship series. So, but again, because this isn't where we think of like professional baseball today, where there's like free agent contracts and like all these things changing hands. Again, this is public union work. So a lot of it is like tiered seniority, where basically what you sign in, and then you just get percentage raises from there. And like there's performance bonuses and stuff that are allocated to each team. There's like a little pool that each team has that they kind of give raises based on people's performance and stuff. But there isn't like a mechanism for like the best player to like launch the market, and that's kind of a choice that's been made kind of societally. And so there are people who are highly complimentary of it, who are advocating like, these teams are generating millions upon millions, approaching billions of dollars of revenue for many of these municipalities, and like obviously the players are not getting a large sum of that. But then there are also critics who are saying, no, but that's on purpose because it's subsidizing teachers to make more money. It's like subsidizing these public programs. And you see there are quotes from some prominent players who are highly critical. And like, well, we'll see what she's worth when she gets to the league after she's played a bit.
I think that's where most of the worry is coming in. It's like, how is this going to affect Cass and like, her trying to make her own way into the league. Like, I'm proud that she's making it this far. Like, especially at 20, like, she's entering the pros now. I'm like, this is great, but also like that's going to be a lot of pressure on her that, and she already sort of puts herself a lot in pressure that I'm like, I hope this doesn't eat her up or, sort of overtake a lot of, like, I just want her to play well and be successful that way.
Yeah. Davis, do anything with your phone in this half hour?
I think Davis, he has a family group chat, but he's not really active in it.
Yeah.
So he texts his mom, dad, brother, and sister individually, and he's like, I made the cut. That's all he says.
Cool.
And then I think he sees Daryl, and he tries to give him like a little like fist bump.
Cool. You see Daryl gives you a fist bump. After you send those texts out, you get like, your sister likes the text, no response from your dad, still unread, and your mom puts a little heart reaction to it. And Dante, your brother, actually calls you. Right?
Davis is super surprised, but excited. And he hits it because he's, younger siblings like, yo!
Hey!
What's up?
Hey, Davis, how's it going?
I mean, it's going great, man. I made the cut.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy
Thanks,
for
man.
you.
Thank you.
I saw in a group chat, it seemed like, how are things going with Dad?
Yeah, what do you mean? What are you asking?
I'm, again, really glad you made the cut.
Yeah.
Dad sent some expletives into one of the group chats about you. I just wanted to check in with that.
Yeah, man, like, life is hard, and I was, maybe I missed, and we had a thing, I missed the date, he's been trying to do whatever, but I'm here, this is for Dad too, this is for all of us. If I'm able to do this and make it through, like, I can live up to something.
Really happy for you, Davis. And just to let you know, because Dad told me about, like, it's like a reality show, right?
Yeah. Not like the last one, though. Not the last one. It's a little different.
Okay, so I can watch this one.
Yeah. No, I would love you to watch. And
okay.
Sorry for, posting you and other pictures.
Yeah, we don't. I thought we moved on from that.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
I thought we moved on from that.
No worries.
Yeah, well, cool. Then really never. I wanted just to check because again, like, glad you made the cut. I just wanted to let you know. One of the schools, your brother is an assistant cheerleading coach.
Yeah.
In a school in the Midwest. He goes, just want to let you know, actually, one of the guys I used to compete with, they're hiring a strength and conditioning coach over at the school he's at. So I just wanted, I was going to say, like, if you want, I could get you an in with that.
And then why are you telling me that? And Davis is, like, insulted and a bit embarrassed, but is also, like, about to change the subject and be like, guess who's here? Daryl. Remember Daryl? And he's like trying to bring Daryl into the phone conversation. He's like, "Say what's up, Daryl."
Hey, how's it going? And your brother, who again is 3 years older than you, he's not going to remember
at all. I have no idea.
He goes, "Hi, Daryl."
He's like, "Yeah, man, it's crazy here. This is a crazy time, but thanks for calling. I really appreciate the call, man. I miss you guys, and I'm gonna do this one for y'all. I'm gonna do better this time."
No problem. Hey, you go win it, Davis. You got it. Thanks.
What's up?
Cool. Any?
Lily's first call is going to be to her agent.
Cool.
She sees her name on the list and calls Sandy and is like, "Sandy, I made it. I did it."
Hey, I knew you would, Ace. I knew you would. All right. Listen, I know you can get nervous. I know it's weird being on camera, but listen, you just be yourself out there, okay? You just be yourself, all right? I know you got it in you, okay?
I know, and you've always believed in me, and I'm just like, I can't believe I've actually made it here. Thank you. I have to go call Milo, but this is because of you, and you trusted me, and my arm's feeling so good.
That's music to my ears.
She's like, okay, thank you, Sandy. I'll talk to you later.
You go tell Milo. You go tell him he's dating a superstar. And he hangs up the phone.
And then she'll call Milo, cool. And similar news. And
hey,
then,
babe, how's it going? Did you make it?
I did. I made the cut. There's only 8 of us left, and
yes.
I'm so excited, and my arm is feeling really great, and I miss you, and it shouldn't be too long, but I'm really excited.
I'm gonna ask for a deception on this. My arm is feeling great.
Ooh, low to 5.
Cool. You see, Milo goes, Yeah, glad the arm's feeling good. Yeah, no, I miss you too. Hey, whatever happens, I love you. All right.
I love you too, and this is gonna be it. I'm really excited.
All right.
And then she's gonna fire off a text also to her family group chat, and she sees that the latest texts have been so it's her parents, and then her younger sister just finished her Fulbright scholarship and is now like in medical school at 22.
She dropped in the group chat the like early acceptance from several of the top medical schools in the group chat right before.
And Lily sees it and like had initially like gone to type out this like long thing about how she was going to be on the show, and it instead says like, I'm going to be away from my phone for a while. See you guys. I'll see you guys in a bit. And then sends that instead and doesn't tell them that she's going to be on it. Yeah. And then she'll send one last one to me saying like, you'll never believe what just happened. Like, I'm coming back. I'm really excited.
Show them what you got. Get that text right back. Your phones get taken. You're brought to your hotel rooms. I throw you all a curveball. All right, Davis. Or I should say, Eric.
Oh.
Tell me what does Davis dream about tonight?
Oh, I love this question. I think Davis, exterior, he's like he's not really fazed by like striking out earlier or like hitting a dud earlier. And
they did have you do BP where you crushed like 7 over the wall. Cool. Got it back.
Yeah, so he feels unfazed, but he does, and he typically has a sort of unfazed exterior of like, this is not affecting me in a negative way. But Davis remembers almost every time he struck out. He remembers almost every time he's like missed a ball in the field. Like he's very like deep in that, at least mentally.
I'm gonna cut you off there.
Yeah.
Tell me about what does Cannon dream about?
I think Cannon is dreaming about coaching, like he's coaching in the pros now, and I think, especially with how this day has gone, he's seeing himself coach Cass, like. But then he's seeing like the struggle that like there's some struggle happening there, so it's a little bit like a nightmare.
As the start of that struggle happens, I'm gonna cut you off. What does Lily dream about?
Lily is back in the at bat, but she's actually thinking about like the ways in which he could have adjusted properly, and that like he like after taking the initial step. Should like how he could have like held his hands back to properly.
Yeah, like as you're sort of in the dream going to like talk to Davis, I'm going to cut it off because you don't get to experience all of that dream. In fact, I need you all to roll initiative.
Whoa!
Wow.
So
18.
Davis got an 18.
Yeah.
What did Candy get?
19.
19. Ooh. And Lily?
8.
Okay. A lot is going to happen. A lot is going to happen. And in real time, it's a span of like a second or two. All of you awaken to the sound of a loud commotion. It's in that moment you are jolted awake from a deep sleep. It is not like you're waking up and coming to your senses. It's like when you get jarred awake and you have that like, it's probably only half a second, but it feels like 5, where things are happening and you aren't registering them. It's like, there is sound. And then you realize that sound is like violent metal and screaming. Above you, you see a pod door is opening. As you are laying down, it is obvious you are not where you fell asleep. You are looking at what should be ceiling, and there is nothing there. It is unlike anything you've ever seen. Color can't even describe it, yet you know it is like abyss. It is endless. It is devoid of existence. That, I think, immediately, pretty horrifying realization, like has you look down, like sort of at your feet, and you see you've been laying in what almost looks like a casket, like in shape. You see your feet and legs, and you are in this like translucent cover that is like coming open. As you come up, Cannon, you roll the highest initiative, so you're going to get to make the first perception check.
Okay.
Actually, maybe let's have you all roll perception checks, and then you'll get the info when we get to you.
10.
12.
8.
But -4. 8.
Oh.
So you rolled a 12 and got an 8.
Got 8.
Cool. 8, 8, 10. Bet. So, all of you you all step up. All of you do see this, even on 8s. It is a room of these, like, again, I'm calling it a casket. It is not a casket. It's just like that would be the best way you could describe it to someone. It is not something you've like seen before in the world. You're in a room, like almost like metallic walls, like very this like dark gray silver, and the commotion you see at first is what your eyes are drawn to, and it's that metal. You see a 10, 15 foot tall monstrosity. It is, imagine if a scorpion had as many legs as a spider, but all of its body was like angled metal and sharp edges. And like, so the tips of, like almost the tips of blades are like the feet on the ground scurrying. And it might have 12, 15 of these like prongs like all over. Wait, it's just a little baseball D&D. What's happening? On the other side of the room, the screaming you hear is someone you do not recognize. You're like, run to me, please, run to me now! And it is a person in full catcher's gear, catcher's mask on, and they are chucking baseballs at this monster. Okay? They're saying, run to me, now! Okay, Cannon, you are first in initiative. What do you do?
I guess I'm scared of it. This makes 0 sense. So, like, okay, they're the I guess whoever's in the couching fit. Like that's the closest thing to normal that I see. So I'm just gonna follow what they really. So I move towards them.
You run to them. As you see that all of the like covers on and you see some of the like. Again, I'm just going to call them caskets. The covers are coming open, and the reason is there's another person just in like standard baseball uniform running by and like hitting buttons on each one, like almost hitting them, and then they pop open. And they're running, hitting them, and pop open. As again, this catcher is still pelting balls at this monster. You run, Davis, to your second initiative. What do you do?
Are we all in the same room?
You Lily rolled high enough to see the other two. You two did not. You are not perceiving enough to recognize faces in this moment.
Okay. I think Davis is trying to run away. He's trying to escape.
100%. And I will say one thing I should have said is the catcher is throwing from like almost a raised point. There's like a staircase and a door out that way.
I think Davis is like, I can get out of here.
Cool. Yeah. You two run. Lily, what do you do?
So
you do see the two of them start to bowl. You like the three of you are actually pretty close to each other and start to bowl.
Do I see the producers in the room also with my 10?
That is a very good question. I would say because you asked a specific question, I'll let you roll that perception check.
That is a wise question.
11.
Okay. On it, let me see here. You do not see the producers. You see people you recognize like as baseball players. Some you do, some you saw recognize from the lobby. Some you recognize from not even the lobby. I played with that guy 3 years. I haven't seen him in forever. And you also see a couple people who are, and again, I want to be clear, this monster is actively like moving and stabbing at people with its legs and blades. A few of them are like walking in front of it, seemingly unperturbed and kind of just walking very slowly. And you notice all of them have what appear to be like scar wounds and just holes through their chest right here. So that's what Lily sees.
She's probably gonna run to the person who's yelling.
Yeah. Cool. You run toward the catcher. She goes, run! Come on, guys! Come on! And you see the three of you get up there. I'm gonna make some rolls for some other people. That's a 2. That is an 8. Not high enough. You see you see the person who is running around opening things up. As you see one of the monster's blades just cuts into one of the caskets that has not been opened. The angel next to it is scanning opening, and it stabs through the angel's heart as well. The catcher, as you three get to it, she pushes you through an open door, and you see what looks to be like a translucent elevator of sorts. She gets you in, slams the door. I'm gonna need a dexterity saving throw from everyone here.
17.
15.
Dexterity save. 11.
Cool. You only need to be a 10, so you don't take any damage.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask Cannon for a perception check with advantage.
Okay. That'd be 17.
Cool. So you all get into this space. It's just the three of you. The catcher closes the door, hits a latch, fires it forward. It jolts up at the speed of a rocket ship. The dexterity saves was to not take damage as you flew in this thing. On a set DC 17 perception, you see that one of the bodies that is moving very slowly around the monster is your daughter, Cass. As this thing fires off, the catcher takes off their mask. You see big curly hair, someone you don't recognize. And she's going, okay, everyone, I am Ray Denora, an angel of the baseball gods. You are not dead, but we are heading to the afterlife. And that is where we're going to end our first episode of Critical Hit. Last chance, make sure to like and subscribe, going over and join our Patreon to see what on earth just happened. Thank you all. And that's where we're going to break for episode 1!
Or not on
Wow.
You are vile.
What do you mean afterlife?
You are the souls of the being.
Okay, that was purgatory. My daughter is down there.
What happened to all the other people?
I think-
Can we die? What happens if we die here? Can this body die? What if I die here? Do I die in the real world?
The land of the baseball gods is another nation. All 4 of them make a baseball, create their hand, throw it in the middle, and where they meet, explosion out.
And, if this is actually happening, here's how I would prove that I'm not in the realm that I normally live in.
So I'm gonna go with you. Yeah, I'm gonna go this alone.
Wait, who are you?
Name's Cannon. Cannon Strong.
No way! It is great to meet you.
Good to meet you
That's
too.
crazy.
We've been running drills with him for
Yeah, I was
whole
out
day.
there.
Our world is subject to the world you all come from.
David's like, you're so cool!
As we were leaving, I saw her there. She was.
Yeah, we got this.
I'm gonna take the baseball I manifested. I'm gonna throw it at him.
And you notice there's a TV on, and you realize it is a highlight compilation of the person you are seeing. Why are you looking at me like that, Eric?
He's here.
He's in this world. Would you like to see him?
Nat 20.